Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Machedo is the best.
Hi there, Loy Machedo. It's me, you from loymachedo.com. Who is Loy Machedo? Think Personal Branding. All right. In my previous video, I told you that I had three main coaches who changed my life and my perspective, who really impacted the foundation that I have. So, and I also told you this, that I would share in another video the lessons that I learned from them that really shaped me up. So in this video, I'll give you the lessons that I learned from my coach, who really helped me in terms of the physical transformation. For long story short, for 6 years after I stopped bodybuilding, I think 6 or 7 years, I had lower back injury, spinal injury. I had both my knees were busted. My elbows were really bad. My joints were aching. I couldn't do anything. And I had put on, I think, 20 or 25 kilos extra. So I was almost like at 100 plus kilos, 100 kilos. Okay. And I had heavy muscle and I had heavy fat. And I tried slow running. I was a marathoner. Means running half marathon, but I would always be the last to finish. So life was not working out very well for me. And even though I was doing exercise, I was still fat. My body was still aching. And this continued. I was in my comfort zone until one day, one Malayali runner who was in his 50s, his name is Santosh. He's a well-wisher. He's a good guy. But he and I always had this, competitive thing between us. So he was 54 or something. I was 36 or something. And he started after me in half marathon running. And within a year, he became twice as better than me. In fact, he became so good that every race that we would go for, we would go slow, like easy running. He would always overtake me. And this really got to me. I was like, sheesh, man, how is he able to beat me? Because the first race, I was able to overtake him. But after that, every race, he overtook me. And I didn't give it a damn until one day, in front of everyone, he said, Loy, I said, oh, I'm going to show you and all that, that kind of competitiveness we had. In front of everyone, he said, Loy, I challenge you. If you can overtake me, okay, I'll change my name. So he gave me a challenge like that. And everyone started to laugh and all that. And, we were all enjoying it, being a good sport. But I took it personally. It really hurt my feelings that everyone was laughing. And, when your ego and your pride is there and you really want to get back at someone. So I took it very seriously. And just imagine, for the next 3 to 4 years, I tried everything to defeat the guy. I could not. I tried steroids. It made me slower. I tried bodybuilding. It didn't work out. I tried marathon running. It didn't work. I joined running clubs. It didn't work. Nothing I did made me better. In fact, he was getting even more better than me. So finally, I decided, man, if I have to take this seriously, I need the best of the best. So I decided to go for a coach, a professional coach. That also, I did research and I found out an Olympic coach, a coach who had trained people for Olympics, track and field. He was available. And, I decided, okay, I'll try them out. Now, obviously, they are expensive. They're not cheap. They were charging around $200 an hour. I was like, bloody hell, man, this is so expensive. So, but not to get discouraged, I decided, nothing doing, I'm going to do this. See, imagine, I had the typical Indian mentality. Save money, not spend money. But later on, when I did the checklist of how much money I was actually spending through this shortcut method, I found out I was spending much more. I spent much more money in those last 4 years doing things by myself instead of paying the coach. So finally, I decided, okay, nothing doing, I'll pay him per hour. So it was not like I was paying him per hour every day. I think I was training under him. First, it was once a week. Then it became twice a week. Then I increased to 3 times a week. Okay. But initially, it was just 1 time a week. And I'll tell you, I started to train under him. To my shock and surprise, in less than, I think, 7 months. 7 months. No, not 7 months. Less than that. I think 5 or 6 months. In less than 5 to 6 months, let's say 6 months, the progress that I showed was greater than the 6 years put together. 6 years. What I could not do in 6 years, I achieved in 6 months. In fact, I was the fastest in my life in those 6 months. The progress that I made, I was even faster than I was in school days. Can you imagine that, school and college days? That much progress I made in the 6 months. So it was there I realized that if I train under a coach, a professional coach, what the difference would be. And he was a paid coach. So in this, I'll give you the 10 lessons that I learned from him, the 10 lessons that really changed my life. See which one really helps you. And if it does help you, just put down your comments and thoughts down below. These are the 10 principles that I learned from him, which I've been able to apply in all the areas of my life. Okay. So the first lesson is, don't try to do a job of a professional. The first mistake that I did in all these years was I was searching online, google.com, YouTube videos, these chumma coaches who are there who would give advice to change your life and do this and do that. Oh, he's a running coach. Oh, he's a strength and conditioning coach. Oh, he gave this workout. I would cherry pick this, and try to incorporate it in my life. It turned out to be a mistake because I was trying to do the job of a professional. Instead of that, I rather pay money and get the job done. And today, I do the same thing. If I have to do something, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's algorithm, whether it's a website, I don't try to do it by myself. I'll not research. I'll pay a guy who I trust, professional, take the money, get it done. And you might feel that it is expensive, but it saves you so much of time, effort, and money that you're paying a professional instead of doing it by yourself. The $200 that I spent per hour, okay, for me, that time was too much. But then eventually I realized, man, this guy is really saving me time, effort, money brilliantly. I took his classes 3 times a week, okay? And then I increased it even to 2 to 3 hours sometimes per class. And obviously, he gave me a much better pricing. Okay, so the first one is, don't try to do the job of a professional. Pay a professional, get the job done. Second one is, don't try to reinvent the wheel. How many people you know online who tell you, oh, I'll try this shortcut, that shortcut? How many people who write their resumes, they will try a new way, put their photograph in a new way, put a color in a new way, put a statement in a new way? What you're trying to do is reinvent the wheel. Whether it is raising your child, whether it is medicines, whether it is dieting, whatever it is. We think that we are going to do something revolutionary, reinvent. Don't do that, because 100 out of 100 times you will fail. There's a reason there is a time-tested tradition. Just follow that. For me, I tried reinventing the wheel by taking steroids, by going to the gym, by trying new workouts, new stuff. When I trained under him, he took me back to basics, and I'll tell you, that is what really helped. Point number 3. They always say work hard, right? 100%. There's no such thing as smart work where you work less. No, work hard, but work hard at the right thing. See, there are 2 ways of going about. Either you work very hard doing the wrong things, or you work hard doing the right things. For example, let's say you have to go from A to B. Now just imagine, instead of going from A to B, instead of going straight this way, you're going the opposite direction. And you're driving very fast and you're going very... if you go any other direction, you go this way or you go this way, instead of going straight, you go back or left or right. That by the time you realize, sheesh, I've gone the wrong way, you have to cover the entire wrong distance back, come back to 0, and from 0 once again start. So work hard, put all the effort, but do it at the right direction, the right strategy. That is why I tell people, when you're doing your resume or when you're doing this personal branding, You have to undo the damage that you've done. So stop wasting your time trying to do it by yourself and reinvent the wheel and working hard doing the wrong thing. Okay. Point number 4. This one I never thought, I never used to focus on. But when I went to him the first time, he didn't focus on what I was doing well. Like, for example, I knew marathon running, half marathon running. I was already running. He didn't ask me to run. He said, okay, Loy, first thing, touch your toes and show me. I was like, why? He said, touch your toes. Okay. Then stretch. Okay. I couldn't do it. Then he said, bend your back. It was painful. Bend your knee. It was painful. And then he asked me, what kind of exercises you do? I showed him. What kind of food you eat? I showed him. And what I realized is all the stuff I was doing wrong, the food that I was eating, which was wrong, the exercise that I was doing, which was wrong, the stretching or whatever, he first corrected what was wrong. And then he told me, focus on what is right. So the same thing in life, first you need to correct the things that you're doing wrong, the mistakes that you're doing wrong, the negative traits. You need to eliminate that. Unless you change that, anything good that you do, it'll just get negated. For example, let's say you want to save money, you want to become rich. Now you can go on a spree of earning more, but if you start spending more also, you'll end up with the same. So the goal is first eliminate the negatives. So that is point number 4. Point number, I'm reading, by the way, I'm reading this sheet of paper. I've written the points. Point number 5 is if you want to see a difference in your life, you should not change one thing. You should change everything. What do I mean by that? When I wanted to run, when I wanted to improve my running, I thought it was only exercising. No, he changed my sleep pattern. He changed the time when I sleep. He changed the time I eat. He changed the clothes that I wear. He changed the shoes that I wear, the socks, the underwear. He changed what I would do after exercise, during exercise, before exercise. Every single thing, even the people I was hanging around with, that had to change. So the reason for this is all, we have a circle of friends and different circles that surround us. We have to change everything if you have to see the results. Because let's say, for example, I didn't change my diet, then the body would not get nutrition. I didn't change my supplements, then my body would not heal. If I didn't change my sleeping pattern, I'd be tired. If I didn't change the basic fundamentals of exercise, my body wouldn't be able to move the leg or the physiology. It wouldn't respond. So I had to change everything. So in the same way, if you have to see results in your life, you have to not change one thing, you have to change everything. Then point number 6, we generally discard the support functions. Now, what do I mean by that? I never took supplements seriously. Supplementation turned out to be very important. I never even thought, let's say, steroids would have an impact in my life. Oh, it was very, very important. I never thought, simple things like the socks, the type of socks, the shoes, the type of shoes, even the undergarments, the type of even the gel that I was putting on my body, which I didn't have. I didn't have a watch to check the timing, a heart rate monitor. I never had all of these. All this turned out to be very important. These are supplementary functions. In fact, the people I was hanging around with, the diets that I was eating, the nightclub that I used to go sometimes hang out with the guys, all this had to change. So whether it is your friend circle, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your relatives, whether food, anything, the dress, the behavior, the movies, all these are supplementary functions. All this has to change. Even the way you dress, the way you put yourself on social media, all this. If you don't change all this, you'll not see results because they do impact us. Okay. Point number 7. In order for me to know where do I stand, I had to compete with other people. Like, let's say, for example, I want to run and improve. But if I just run alone by myself in a circle or with nobody else or with a bunch of friends, nothing's going to happen. He used to actually put me for events. He used to put me for running races. And even if I'd come last, he would say, no, I still want you to take part because there you'll come to know where do you stand. You'll see other people. It will light a fire in you. So even the same thing with me. Today, my career path that I've taken, I am competing with not only personal branding experts like myself. I compete with other YouTubers for attention. I compete with the content creators for other people to read my content. I compete with a product might come. Let's say I tell them, okay, you give me $1,000, let's say for my service, or $2,000 or $5,000. And suddenly Apple launches its new phone, or Sennheiser launches its new headset, or some new gadget has come out. People will think, why should I pay Loy? I might as well pay this and get this product. So you're constantly competing with somebody. So for me, in order for me to improve in running, I had to compete with others. That lit a fire when I'd see someone younger than me, or older than me, better than me. In the same way, if you want to succeed in your career path, don't just compete with your colleagues or your company. Compete with the people in the industry. Compete with the best in the world. And that is where you'll come to know where you stand. Point number 8, you need to constantly assess yourself. Where do you stand? Like, for example, with me, he would make me have tests. Like, for example, run 100 meters. He would check the time. And then after a week, run 100 meters again, check the time. Then after 2-3 weeks, and we would write it down on an Excel sheet, and we would measure the difference. And that's the only way you will come to know your progress. Like, for example, me, today, how do I measure my progress? Obviously, I'm not doing exercise competitively. I check, okay, last month, what was my earning? This month, it should be better than last month. Month 3 should be better than, then I check last year, how much did I make? This year, how much did I make? So you have to constantly be testing yourself, whether it's your weight, whether it's your number of followers, whether it's the money that you're earning. So you need to constantly assess yourself, and it should be in measurable terms. Point number 9 is you need to have 100% focus, 100% concentration. When I was doing my exercise, there was no music, there was no chatting, there was no friends, there were nothing. It was 100% exercise, nothing else. In fact, the planning for the exercise, I would sleep at 9 o'clock, I would get up at 3 o'clock, I would have a cold shower, I would drink black coffee, I would eat my protein meal, then I would drive down to that venue, and then I would sleep in my car. The reason I travel earlier is not to get traffic. Then I sleep in my car, then I'd get up, then I'd have my first carb meal. All this had to be planned out, okay? Nothing was done randomly. So in order for me to succeed, this plan, I had to give 100% from money, time, effort. Only then the improvement would take place. So in the same way, if you want to succeed now, you need to put 100% focus in everything that you're doing. Only then you'll succeed. Listening to music, chatting with someone, talking and typing and watching YouTube and this and that, it doesn't work. Like right now when I'm making the video, there's no noise. My wife, kid, they're in the room. I'm not taking anyone's calls. Internet is switched off. Only focus is here. So that is how. And I made this list. So this took time beforehand. So all this goes into succeeding into your brand. Okay. And last, if not the least, the final bit is, in order to succeed in today's day and age, you need to exploit the loopholes of the system. You need to know how you can cheat without being caught. Because see, the fact of the matter is everybody cheats. And everyone's a cheater. Everyone's not a cheater until he gets caught. So when you get caught, that's where you're declared a cheater. So you're not a cheater until you don't get caught, like they say. So, sorry, I had to make a correction there. So, you need to figure out the loopholes of the system. You need to figure out what can you do to achieve the maximum result. And yes, you need to play dirty at times. Everyone says play clean. But the fact of the matter is, if you have the perfect genetics, if you have the perfect upbringing, if you have the perfect environment, fine. Don't have to worry. But if you live in an imperfect world with people who take advantage of the system, people who cheat, there are bribes, there are, stuff that people don't talk about. As long as you live in a world like that, you can't succeed in a normal way. So, if you have to succeed, you have to know the loopholes of the system, the dirty little secrets. And for that, you need an industry expert who will guide you. So, these are the 10 lessons that I learned from my paid coach that really helped me succeed. And I'll tell you, I ran the fastest in my life. I think I ran 12 kilometers in 54 minutes. It was unbelievable. I was running at a pace of I think 4 point something or 1 per kilometer. I would run within 5 minutes per kilometer. That was unbelievable because before I used to run 1 kilometer in 10 minutes. I just ran double the speed, and I was doing this for 21 kilometers. It's crazy, man. The amount of fitness, stamina, lung capacity, joints, muscle stamina. I mean, everything has to be perfect. You can't do that. And I did it in 6 months. To this date, that is the highlight of my career. So if from being a guy who was completely broken and busted, who was huffing and puffing for 50 meters, who couldn't walk, to being able to run, half a marathon in a record time, I mean, that's only because I took professional help. So if I could show that improvement in that area, I use the same principles in other areas of my life and succeeded. So I hope this video offered you value. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. It's me signing off. You guys take care.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others or by fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Machedo is the best.